from the first video we did some 2-3 months ago, thereabout, up till now, we're scaling downward towards 50 videos. And I hope that the entire experience has been worthwhile for you. The content has been useful for you. So today, I'll be talking about the shift in focus, the focus shift for companies in the 21st century, basically. What exactly do I mean? You know, before now, especially with recent happenings from the central bank, from Securities and Exchange Commission, you know, all these issues going on. And I would even want to ask that question. What was the board doing? What was the board doing? What was the board doing when companies were flouting regulatory orders, when companies were not doing the things that was actually expected of them to do? What were the board members doing? What were they doing? So if for example, I want to hold certain individuals accountable for the mess that we're actually seeing, you know, the reputation of a lot of companies right now, you know, almost down the drain, but I hope not. You know, if I were to hold certain individuals accountable beyond the management, I would actually say that the boards of several of these companies that you and I already know have actually failed. They have failed the companies, they have failed consumers. But I should not even be too quick to judge, because sometimes the board members may have actually, you know, brought out some of all this information, and you have management guys who have the board just because of the findings of it. Oh, we have a board of directors, you know, we have an advisory board, we have non-executive directors, blah, 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 and blah. You know, they just have that just for bragging rights, you know, within the tech space and all that. But when it comes to advice, they are very low on taking advice. So let's say we are going to share the blame between management and between the board, 50-50. That's not too hard, really. It's not too hard to say. We're going to split that blame. But the point I'm trying to make is that the focus is really changing. The core focus of companies and for companies and boards before now, we'll be talking about things, or maybe financial metrics. Okay, what are the financial indices? You know all these things now. You know all these things. Financial measure, financial indicators. You know, have we made money this month? What is the balance sheet of this particular company? Blah, 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 and blah. And even beyond that, okay, the regulatory this. You even find companies that come out then to say, okay, we've complied with every regulation. If you even ask them, which ones have you complied with? They cannot expressly tell you, okay, we've complied with SEC. This is this for SEC. This is this for NDIC. This is this for CBN. This is this for CAC. This is this for FRS. They can't tell you. But they make those bogus statements and all that. You even have things, all this talk, succession planning talk, board committee this, audit, board committee that, nomination, all these kind of things. Interesting, nomenclature, beautiful, 100%. But what's really happening now, there's a shift. And if you can actually notice that, if for example, you're a company that does business online, you will find out that if you even had the brightest idea, you brought your idea first to the market and you put that on social media, my God, before you know it, 2 weeks from that particular time, somebody has gone to do a whole research into that particular area. The next thing you find competitors. So you felt that, okay, you started this thing or nobody was doing it before. You now find hundreds of people doing it. So within that particular space within which your company is operating, there are a lot of strong men. A lot of people now become bigger. And of course, the first person that started may not even be the first person to have the funds, the financial ability and capacity to actually scale that business. So the risks are more. There are a whole lot of risks and all that. And beyond that also, it's no longer a company owner's game. It's not a company's owner's game, except you have a monopoly. You have a monopoly. Like I can say some cement majors, they can have that kind of monopolistic stuff that if you like, don't buy my cement. If you don't buy, you are the one that have lost. Things like that. Or if you don't buy my rice, you've lost. Even the rice market right now is now becoming very open. So you cannot really find one company laying claim to all the rice in the country. It's not happening anymore. It's the same for flour, for sugar, for a whole lot of commodities and all that. So the major point I'm trying to make right now is that the market influence is shifting from being company-based to being stakeholder-based. What do I mean by this? Before now, like I've said, Companies call the shots, whether you like it, do business, whether you like it, don't do business. But right now, things have moved beyond the companies. Things are now within the scope of individuals who are using this particular service. I stumbled on an Instagram page of Hustler Square yesterday, and she made mention about a particular app. I don't want to mention the name of the app, but immediately she dropped the comment on that app. In fact, she's very popular, of course. People went to go and check the app out, and they were like, wow. They now came back on Instagram. They now said, I've checked this app out. All the reviews, the majority of the reviews on this app are damaging. So would you now call it a customer's market or a company's market? It's the customer's game. Customers are now so enlightened. In fact, if you are saying, okay, we want to do this investment, is this investment that, they will check you out in a matter of minutes to know if you're actually a serious company or not. So that particular company that Hustler Square actually talked about, they need to actually go back and clean up. They need to clean up the reviews. Because no matter how she's going to push a lot of things, okay, you can do this, do that, do that. When people go to review, they'll be like, no, this company, we can't deal with them. Although she tried to, make the slate still clean for those guys. And, she was like, okay, this company, they had this issue, but they've been able to revamp. They are now they've re-strategized and they've regrouped. They are now a better company. But people need to see that there. So the point I'm trying to make basically now is that beyond the regulatory, the financial, and all these things, companies need to start understanding how the world really works. The world is working from the perspective of the customer's perception about your brand, about your product. And your brand is not about your colors. It's not about your logo. It's about the stories that people can actually tell from doing business with you. It's about the stories that people can tell from engaging with you. It's about the stories that people can tell from how you've dealt with their complaints, how you've pushed them around or otherwise. So all these factors are the things that are now affecting branding. For example, you find that there are certain companies that will give you maybe a timeline of X, Y, and Z. At the end of the day, they can't meet up with that time, and nobody's talking to anybody. And I can understand where some of all these companies can come from. I can also understand the fact that companies have to do all that they can to be excellent. So the point basically is this: boards must begin to support companies to engage more with stakeholders, because that's where the market is. The market is with the stakeholders. It is with individuals that use your product, that engage with you, people that want to know more. What is, in fact, the simplest thing, your client acquisition system online, how is it like? Is it so tedious? I had to register for an app, I think about 3 weeks ago or thereabout. And in fact, just to collect my details, they could not even just collect it on one page. They moved me to another page. There was no Google integration. There was no Facebook integration, no Yahoo Mail integration. Like, there was nothing. It was really stressful. And it's me that want to come and do business with you. And you've stressed my entire life out. So please, I think, with this being said, I think that it's high time we begin to find not just lawyers and accountants on boards. It's high time we begin to find customer service professionals. It's high time we begin to find digital transformation executives on the board. It's high time we begin to find core tech people on the board. It's high time we begin to find people that have, experience with soft skills, client management, things like that. How do you manage clients? How even people with background with revenue assurance, how do you stop blockages, financial bleeding and blockages, financial bleeding for your clients and even the company, like people with those kind of skills that affect customers directly. It's very important. It's very key. The boardroom is growing. Too many influences now within the system. Regulatory fine, financial metrics fine. But if your clients are not happy, then just forget about your financials, basically. Before now, it wasn't so. But if you don't have that client happy at the end of the day, then so much can go wrong within your entire operations. And before you can even say jack, to start finding out what has actually gone wrong. So much water has passed under the table. The company has lost so much money employing irrelevant people in positions that they should not even occupy in the first place. So companies and boards, this is the time to go back to the drawing board. You have to determine what skills are you really looking for that can help your company to scale in the 21st century. And trust me, when you do that, having listened to this video, Thank me in future.